Hey everybody, it's Justin here, aka Demonic Sweaters. Today I've got a tutorial about how to use the service Loopcloud with Ableton Live to create a killer custom drum rack that you can use in your own tracks, or you could even map your electronic drums to it if you wanted to. I made a video already about how to do this, so I'll post a link to that down below about how to map the custom drums to your drum kit. But for now, what I'm going to be using is this really awesome Avatar EMP16 pad controller, and I'm going to be using that in this tutorial here. So whether you're using finger drums, pad controllers, or an electronic drum set, or if you're just, using your keyboard or a regular MIDI controller, this will work in any of those methods. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to click like, subscribe, click that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload new content. And if you want to get a free 14-day trial for Loopcloud, there's a link to that down below as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial. All right, so I've got a new session here already in Ableton Live, and assuming you've already downloaded and installed Loopcloud, you should have a plugin already on your system. And what I'm gonna do is just drag that Loopcloud plugin to a MIDI channel right here, and then I'm gonna click on Open App. Okay, and that brings up the Loopcloud interface, and what's really cool about this is it integrates right in with your DAW, whether you're using Ableton or whatever. You could just drag and drop samples right from Loopcloud into your DAW and it'll work seamlessly, basically. So what I'm gonna do here first is just go to my library and check out some of the samples that I already have, because Loopcloud gives you a bunch of samples already, and there's a bunch more that you can get to use some of your points, but first let's just go through some of the ones we already have. So what I'm gonna do is, for this, I'm not really looking for loops, I'm looking for one-shots. So the way I could do that, well, first off, I can just, type in the name of whatever instrument I'm looking for here, and that should pull up kicks. So let's go ahead and look at some of these. And also I'm gonna turn off loop because that's gonna get really annoying. Ooh, that one is pretty damn huge right there. So that looks good. So what I want to do though, before I can even start loading samples in, I need somewhere to load them into my Ableton project. So what I want to do is use my drum rack. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this drum rack and drag it to another MIDI channel right here. And then this should all be mapped pretty much perfectly to my controller, which it is. I'm just tapping the pads and you can see everything lighting up there. So that's all good. Now, if you want to map things how they're normally mapped and you're not really sure, one thing that you can do is just drag an existing kit from Ableton. Like, let's just take this 909 core kit here and drag it onto the drum rack. So now what I could do is I have this as a basis to work with. So I can see where the bass drum and rim shot and hand claps and all that stuff are mapped. And I can just go ahead and use Loopcloud. Let's find that kick that I just had. And I can just drag that from here onto my bass drum slot. And now it replaced it. And there it is. Okay, so it's really easy. We can continue this process. Let's look for some snares. Kind of like this tight, whatever that is. So let's grab that one. Actually, I'll put that on the rim shot slot right here. There we go. That's pretty cool. And let's see what else we can do. Let's grab another snare. Oh, I like that one. That one's big. It didn't take. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, and I think you get the idea. It's actually really simple to do this. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna create a full drum rack, and then I'm gonna show you what else we could do with it to make it really pop. All right, I wanted to show you a couple more things to narrow down your search. Now, first off, I already did a bunch from the library, but I'm still working on the drum rack, and I wanted to select something a little bit cooler for the toms. So I'm gonna go here to the search function in Loopcloud, and I'm gonna click on drum. You don't have to do it this way, you could just search, but what I'm gonna do now is type in toms, or just tom, press enter. And what I can do is if I go over here to tags, under content types, I can select one-shots, and that'll narrow it down even further to one-shot samples. So now I can hear all these different toms. Let's check them out. And there's a bunch of them. I mean, you could spend literally hours doing this. Days even, probably. Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna grab that one. Let's go ahead and purchase that. I don't know if I did that so quick. Here where it says P, that used one of my points. So over here you can see now I have 246 points. Well, let's go ahead and drag that over to, I guess I'll put it on the low tom slot right here. Okay, now let's look for my mid tom. Right now there's just a 909 tom on there. Let's keep looking. Kind of like this one. Yeah, let's keep looking. Oh, that's nice too. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna grab that one for my high tom. So let's grab this over here. All right, now all that's left is the mid tom, so let's keep looking. There we go. All right, let's try this one. Okay, so now I've got all of my drums selected. Now, say I want to make these, you know, even cooler than they already are. Let me just show you everything that I have here. Okay, so I just ran through all the different samples. But what I can do is now I can start adding effects. So let's say like this snare here, I want to be a little bit hotter. So let's go here to my audio effects. We can go to drive and color. Let's check out the hot driven tape dynamic tube plugin. And I can just drag this over to here next to the snare. Okay, now I have the ability to crank up this drive and the output a little bit. Drive it up a bit more. Can change the tone. Okay, that sounded pretty cool to me. And, you know, you could do all kinds of stuff. It's not limited to just, you know, overdrive or whatever, obviously. All right, let's add some reverb on this one. Or maybe a delay. Let's see. How about delay? Ambient spaces. And if we want to change the volume of the sample, we can do that right here. Okay, I think I pretty much have everything that I want here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put together a little beat and show you guys what I come up with. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything. You can post them down below. Don't forget to check out my links. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a great day.